You've built a life together. Trust is the foundation. She's told you her story, her past relationships, her experiences, her journey before you. But sometimes a flicker of doubt ignites. A strange reaction to an old photo, a story that doesn't quite align, or a gut feeling that something fundamental about her history just isn't adding up. Today, we're tearing down the illusion of convenient truths. We're exposing the brutal, uncomfortable psychological reality, how women strategically manage their past narratives, and the subtle, undeniable signs she's actively hiding or minimizing key parts of her history. This isn't about digging for dirt. It's about understanding the deep implications of hidden truths on your present and future, and how to protect your emotional frame from a foundation built on deceit. You met her, fell in love, and built a future. She shared glimpses of her past, a few ex-boyfriends, some wild college stories, lessons learned. You believed her. You trusted her. Why wouldn't you? You're building a life based on shared honesty. But then a quiet doubt creeps in. Maybe it's a mutual friend who hints at a different version of events. Maybe it's a disproportionate reaction when you bring up a certain period of her life. Or maybe it's just that gut feeling that the story she's told you feels sanitized. Your brain wants to trust. Your heart wants to believe. But that primal instinct is screaming, something is being concealed. The uncomfortable truth that most men, especially in committed relationships, refuse to acknowledge is this. Women often curate their past narratives to align with the idealized version of themselves they want you to believe, particularly when those pasts contain behaviors that might compromise their perceived value or loyalty. This isn't about being paranoid or controlling. This is about understanding a fundamental psychological dynamic. Dishonesty about the past is a direct assault on the integrity of your present and future. When you build a life on incomplete or fabricated history, you are building on quicksand. The truth eventually surfaces, and when it does, it shatters trust and devastates your emotional frame. The reality is harsh. When a woman actively hides or minimizes significant parts of her past, it signals a fundamental lack of psychological safety and a deep-seated fear that the truth will be detrimental to your perception of her worth. Your job isn't to play detective, it's to recognize the signals of incongruence and understand their profound implications. If you are a man who is committed to building relationships on genuine truth, not convenient fictions, and you're ready to learn the subtle yet undeniable psychological tells that your wife might be lying about her past, then you need to be part of this community. We expose the hidden psychological dynamics that mainstream advice ignores. Hit that subscribe button right now. Don't let your biggest fears be confirmed by an unearthed past. Understand the signs before it's too late. The first psychological tell is the disproportionate reaction to past inquiries and the evasive narrative. When a woman is hiding something significant about her past, any casual inquiry into that period will often trigger an immediate, disproportionate defensive reaction. This isn't just about privacy. It's about guarding a secret. Consider Mark. His wife Sarah had always told him she had a quiet college life. But when an old college friend of hers mentioned a wild semester abroad that Sarah had never mentioned, Mark casually brought it up. Sarah's reaction was immediate and intense. She snapped, accused him of digging, and vehemently denied any wildness, quickly changing the subject. Her anger and defensiveness were far more telling than any direct admission. The story she gave him was vague and lacked detail, a classic sign of fabrication. When her narrative about a specific period is usually vague, inconsistent, or met with extreme defensiveness or anger, it's a massive red flag. Her emotional response is telling you that she is protecting a carefully constructed facade. The truth often has details, nuances, and a calm, confident delivery. Lies are often thin, lacking in detail, and accompanied by emotional volatility designed to shut down further inquiry. She's not just avoiding the topic, she's actively defending the lie. The second undeniable tell is the incongruence between her stated past and her current behaviors, beliefs, or even her emotional triggers. A woman's past profoundly shapes who she is today. If her stated history doesn't logically align with her current behaviors, beliefs, or even her emotional triggers, there's often a missing piece to the puzzle. Think of David. His wife Lisa always claimed to have had only one serious, long-term boyfriend before him, portraying herself as a relationship-oriented woman. Yet Lisa would display extreme jealousy over David's past and an unusual fear of abandonment far beyond what one might expect from her stated, relatively calm relationship history. Later, David discovered Lisa had a much more tumultuous past, including several short-term, emotionally volatile relationships. Her current insecurities and jealousy, which she attributed to just being sensitive, were in fact direct psychological consequences of a past she had meticulously hidden.
When her reactions, insecurities, or even her core beliefs about relationships seem to contradict the sanitized version of her past, it's a strong indication that you're not getting the full picture. Her present self is a product of her entire history, not just the parts she's chosen to reveal. The disconnect is not a coincidence. It's a signal that crucial information has been omitted, and that omission has significant implications for your understanding of her current psychological makeup. If these insights are making you reconsider conversations you've had, and you're ready to learn how to spot the subtle psychological inconsistencies that scream hidden past, then you need to commit to this channel. This is where we are men with the tools to navigate the complex psychological landscape of relationships. Don't hesitate. Subscribe now to empower yourself with knowledge that protects your emotional investment. The third and most insidious tell is the gaslighting effect and the attack on your intuition. When you sense an inconsistency and try to gently probe, a woman hiding her past will often resort to classic gaslighting tactics. She will try to make you believe your instincts are wrong, that you are paranoid, or that you are being controlling, all to protect her fabricated narrative. Consider Robert. His wife, Emily, had told him she dropped out of college due to financial hardship, but he found an old yearbook with her name listed in a sorority from a different university, indicating a longer and different academic path. When he calmly asked her about it, Emily erupted. She accused him of being a detective, of not trusting her, and even claimed he was trying to hide something by bringing up such an old, irrelevant detail. She painted him as the problem for even questioning her. This is a critical red flag. When a woman turns your legitimate questions into an attack on your character, she is not merely being defensive, she is actively attempting to shatter your confidence in your own perception of reality. Her goal is to discredit your intuition so that you stop looking for the truth. This is a severe assault on your emotional frame, and it signals that the hidden past is significant enough to warrant such an aggressive, deceptive defense. So what do you do when you detect these signs? You do not become a detective. You do not demand confessions. You do not allow her to gaslight you into doubting your own legitimate concerns. You understand that honesty about the past is a non-negotiable foundation for genuine trust in the present. If she is unwilling to be transparent about her history, she is signaling that she does not believe you can handle the truth, or that her past actions compromise her perceived value to such an extent that full honesty is too risky. Either way, it fundamentally undermines the trust that a healthy, sovereign man demands. You calmly, decisively, and from a place of unshakable emotional sovereignty, make it clear that a relationship built on concealment is a relationship built on sand. You enforce your frame. I require honesty and transparency in my partnership. If you are unwilling or unable to provide that about your past, then the foundation of our trust is compromised, and I cannot build a future on that. Then you must be prepared to enforce that boundary. You pull back your emotional investment. You focus on your purpose. You demonstrate through your actions and your unshakable frame that your worth is not dependent on her convenient fictions. You reclaim your power. This isn't about dredging up every detail. It's about the fundamental principle of honesty. When a woman cannot be honest about her past, she cannot be fully trusted in the present or the future. Your primary duty is to protect your own emotional frame and ensure that the foundation of your relationship is built on truth, not comfortable lies. If this video has armed you with the critical insights to recognize when your wife might be concealing her past and empowered you to protect your emotional frame, then don't let this knowledge go to waste. Subscribe to this channel now to ensure you continue building the unshakable masculine strength that demands truth and integrity in all your relationships. Hit that notification bell and commit to being a man who lives in reality, not in convenient illusions.